We're starting from the left top corner, you've got the BS1192 and parts 1192. These two are the design documents for design consultants. And then you've got part 3, which is the orange one on the left, for asset management, operational management, that sort of thing. And the code is part 4. Part 5 is the security data management there. The CIBIM protocol is about legal and commercial. And then you've got the last new things, which is the Japan soft landing, digital plan work, and classifications. And Hong Kong, we have got our BIM standard as well. It's established just a few months ago. It's also a very good document. I also suggest you to read this one as well. And because I was just talking to my peers and colleagues, about the BIM environment in Hong Kong, and a lot of practice are basically what the red square box inside is about. So a lot of the design are done by CAD, and then somehow when people do BIM projects are doing BIM and they remodeling it in Revit environment, so there's a little bit of a double handling there. Or it simply is just a lonely BIM, which is one discipline using Revit only. Also for this seminar, because I'm representing Revit User Group, BIM is equivalent to Revit, although it's not true. So I was just thinking to also to take this opportunity to stimulate a little bit of the Hong Kong environment. So basically, instead of using CAD to do your design, Revit can simply take place. You have no double handling, and what we have would be a more consistent design, and drawings, which is your product, what you produce, and in terms of your design, will be more coherent, accurate, complete, and clear. And that's the UK BIM framework document that's relevant to what I talk about today. So if you look at the parts 1192 BIM standard, it says the production of design and construction information is a task and time-based process. Each task needs to be carried out in a particular order for the mutual benefit for all those involved. So basically, if you're a structural engineer, which is what I am, you have to think what you do will have affect your teammates, the architects or MEP people. And so standardizing the process and agreeing the methodologies of your design is indeed needed. And the benefit working this way is that you get fewer delays, hopefully, better management of your project, and you know where the risks are. So a second slide. This is the last slide with so many words. So wherever possible, the principle of lean should be applied to reduce expenditure of resources. That means waiting and searching for information, overproduction, overprocessing, and any rework. And to be truly lean, you have to think from the beginning to the end. So let's go to the slightly more technical part of my talk today. So basically, if you are standardizing your design workflow, so in terms of Revit, you have your lines. If you are because you need to produce drawings anyway, so that would be your line style, line weight, and object style in terms of the Revit environment. And you've got basically these screen captures is what basically what it says. And then if you can go back a little bit, basically if you are just starting with your BIM project or your BIM journey in your company, please do this because it's only a one-time translation. Once you do this, all your projects later on will be will be this. You'll be using this basically in your Revit template, so you don't have to do any second time for that kind of thing. So secondly, what you can do is to standardize your Revit families. That will be graphical symbolic, that will be 2D. So there will be something like annotation, drop level there. This kind of title of a detail. And also you've got the 3D families, And obviously for family, you can be really smart or parametric, but you can start with some simple ones. I suggest you, if you have got your Revit installed, use the ones, start from scratch, from the ones that's provided by the AutoCAD software, and just don't use that library file. Just take those from that Revit library file and put in your company master folder and use that from then on. And then lastly, you've got the drafting views, which is the typical details, which I think if you are a design consultant, which I think everyone has in your company. Again, you have to do it in Revit, like get your BIM modelers or junior guys. I've done quite a lot of myself. So one-time translation as well. You draft those in, put in your Revit template file or Revit master folder, which I'm going to show you here. And from then on, every project when you start, it will be the folder structure will be like this. You pick it right from here. So you have got families which is not inside the Revit template file, and drafting fields as well. Like you start with your project using the Revit template, and you pick and choose what you want from this folder. That's something that you can do prior to your project. And after setting up prior to your Revit template prior to your project, you can then set, if you are starting your BIM project, that's what basically you can do. According to Part 1192, you've got CDE, Common Data Environment, which is a means of providing collaborative environment for sharing work. And the advantages are really critical here. Like you get the same information at the same time. You've got control over your collaborative processes, which deals with the ownership in terms and cost, and then and basically it's a single source of truth. Like nowadays, in the old day, or maybe even nowadays, you use your CAD file to do your design. Like let's say I'm a structural engineer, I finish this CAD file, I send my emails to architect, and then next week I send a new set of CAD file to the architect. And in the long run, everyone is busy. You use a lot of time searching which one is the latest file, so it's not good. And with Common Data Environment, you just basically go there, pick the information which is latest anyway. It's a live model again. So get your CDE, Common Data Environment installed, be it your FTP, cloud server, etc., So basically, that's how it works according to level 2 BIM. Everyone has their BIM software and author their part of the BIM model. Here I've got 3, just for architect, structural, and MEP. And then you share with each other, and that makes a federated model. And then from then on, you class detect it, coordinate it, and what you do afterwards is you produce your drawings and specifications. And then after publications of your drawings, and perhaps in this stage, construction stage is just started, you have to archive your Revit files, your BIM authoring softwares, and that's within your Common Data Environment. And the process of sharing and your design is this according to Part 1192. So each of us, I mean, again, architects, structural engineer, MEPs, do their work in WIP, work in progress, which is the little blue box there. So it's basically what you do day in, day out. Like for structural engineers, you may do your structural engineering calc, do your drawings, place your bin in Revit and columns and slabs, yeah. And then once it's approved by your seniors and the project engineers or managers in your company, yeah. And then you go to share. You share to the relevant parties that you are working with, which is the yellow box there. And if that's needed, you can share to your client for project meetings as well, which is the pink box there. And after that, you authorize. That would be when you actually produce your drawings for contractual planning, statutory submission, blah blah blah. And then you have archive, which is exactly what it says. So for example, here I've got 3 diagrams on the right. I'll just talk about structurals. So you've got work in progress again, like that's what you do day in, day out. And then you share to the architects and MEP and relevant parties. And because it's a coordination process, you go back to work in progress. For example, after a meeting, you've got changes or avoiding your clashes. And I would say for other disciplines, which is architect and MEP, will be very similar. Secondly, for initial setup for your project, that would be your project browser. Here, I'm showing you an organized project browser in terms of inside the Revit environment. So, for example, like you've got these question marks. Oh, by the way, this model isn't started initiated by my company. It was simply transferred from the team that did the scheme design. So you've got these question marks, which I don't know what that is, and then you've got phase 3, which is really confusing. You've got basically it just doesn't make sense really. So according to best practices, no more unorganized work environment, please. And then basically I hated the project browser and decided one day I'm going to organize it for the benefit of all my colleagues. That's the setting that I did. You go to project parameters, and then that's basically the setting, like take pictures or photographs. Yeah, that's the way I do it, but it can be different from project to project or companies to companies. Yeah, like I've got my field. I define it as a field category, and then in the type parameters type, and then you choose identifier, and you appear in your field in your project properties bar. And after that, this is the project parameters there on the left. And after that, you have to sort it out. That you then go to, I believe, is the field and then project organization. And I name what I do is a customized browser instead of the default one from the model from the field earlier. So here I've got a field category, which is what I defined on the left earlier, and I also have my field subcategory. It's basically the same definitions, but different name. Why is that? It's because in my project I've got 2 contracts. One is the foundation contract, the other one is the superstructure. So having this organization kind of helped me. So that's why. So and again, field category is the main category, and then you go to the subcategory. or alternatively, if you want more reliability in your project, you can have an extra one just in case of special circumstances. And here's what my organized project browser looks like. So you've got working. It's basically according to 01 to 08 is all the WIP work in progress according to parts 1192. So I've got my preliminary work, which I may refer to some CAD files or CAD standards before, yeah. And then I go to plan view, and after that I check my what I draw on the plan view onto on a 3D environment, and blah blah blah. So basically from 01 down to 09. 09 is an export to Navisworks for clash analysis or coordination during design team meetings. And on the red box is basically what I defined there, and you can see in properties bar. And then lastly is the field template. So again, this is not feasibility graphic. So set up your field template, and then standardize your plan view, your plans on the drawings, sections, or elevations. So yeah, do all that. It's applicable to Revit, other Revit files, and also your CAD files as well. So set that up. And hopefully, if you do a good organizing in your Revit file and with field templates, you can do steel structures like this. And these are basically the drawings and the setup that I again use field templates and project parameters. So as a summary, prior to a project, you've got the line style, line weight, object style to translate from your CAD standards. And this may require you to use to print out actual drawing, compare your Revit drawing and then CAD, and refine it to make it the same looking as in your CAD drawings. And then you've got 2D families, drafting views, and number 1 and number 3 is one-time translation only, so do that. And then initial setup project, you need your common data environment, get your project team set up. You may need to pay for your cloud server or FTP. And then project browsers and field templates you can do it internally. And because I'm a structural engineer, I may as well showcase some of the structural work that I do. So here you've got a simple structure, a slab, some beams and a column and a wall here, with the sizes here. So basically, if you want your 3D structure analyzed without rebuilding your geometry in the finite element program, I think Ken earlier just said, yeah, modeling the geometry takes so much time, yeah, and so do that with Revit and then export it to whatever software program that you use. Like here I use ETABS, but I'll show you later on. So in your analytical model, you have got these lines, I call it nodes and elements. Like these are the lines there, these are the structural things. So that, for example, that line represents a beam. These plates are walls, if you aren't structural engineers. So basically, if you're building a structural model, you can decide which element in Revit to be used for your analytical model. So you have got this tick box. Yeah. For example, you don't need that column. Highlight that, untick it, and you don't need to export it. So here I use add plugin called export to ETABS, and it's very simple. You basically export the things you want to ETABS, which is not what I use at my place. And you can see the geometries are basically the same, but then you don't have the loading, you have the geometry, and only the geometry. You have to further fine tune it for your analysis. And so that would be what a structural BIM workflow would look like. You have your Revit working in progress, and then you export to ECAPS, do your analysis, and then plug out your result, analytical result to your spreadsheet, which is basically what you've been doing all the time. And then after you fine-tune your structures and member size, and then you go back to Revit and do your drawing. So here are some theory and practices I've talked about. And something about standardization, that it requires a lot of disciplines and a lot of QA, QC, a lot of management, but at the end, it might look like you have got more work than before, but you get the quality. Or I don't even think you actually do work more anyway. And also begin with the end in mind, yeah? Like with BIM, yeah, it looks like everything is so simple and everything, but actually you've got loads of things to work on. You've got loads of things to work on. So for example, if you have got an unorganized project browser, for example, someone takes your place out, let's say you are on leave or you are sick, yeah, your colleagues take over. Like you may be very unorganized and confusing for your colleagues, and they don't know what they are doing. Like again, waiting and searching for information is really unnecessary. So think from the start. Think what you do now will have an effect in the future. Please. And again, think big but start small. I can't do everything on my own. Yeah, I don't think anyone can. So do something really small, like and as well really critical as well. Like here I talked about CDE, project browser, and maybe modeling methodologies when you are doing when your project is progressing. Share your ideas with your colleagues, initiate discussions, and collaborate with each other. And finally, join our meetup